Tantei wa Mou Shindeiru. Okay. So I know about pretty much everyone that just clicked on the video, either clicked off the video, or is just like, holy crap, a bit of me just died listening to you say that, Chibi. And, okay, it's very relevant. It's very relevant, and come on, the series is literally called The Detective is Already Dead, you know, Tantei wa Mou Shindeiru. So I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta say it like that. So just, memes aside, I just sat down and watched this 40-plus minute first episode of this anime from Summer of Anime 2021, and my god, it is insanely good. Like, okay, so I obviously can't show a full clip because I'll get, like, copyrighted if I do. But, there is a certain scene that happens within the episode that's just outright fantastic in terms of art and animation. Like, I'm just gonna show the frames, like, the images of it, but if you actually want to see the scene before you watch, you know, let's say the episode, I'll actually have it posted on my social media on Twitter for you to watch the scene I'm talking about, just to see how gorgeous the animation is. It's outright fantastic. But, the point I'm trying to get at, though, is that this scene right here in particular, I was just like, holy crap, they went in really hard, and like, soon as I saw this entire sequence from watching the first episode, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good series, this is gonna be a good anime. It just seems like there's a lot of love and passion put into The Detective is Already Dead. But, okay, so I know many that probably clicked on this video, if you're still here after my bad joke at the beginning, you're probably wondering, what is this about? What is The Detective is Already Dead actually about? I mean, you could kind of get a little bit of an understanding of what it might be about thanks to the title of the anime, but honestly, the title really doesn't give a whole lot to what to expect from the first episode of this series. Like, even though I read the title and I sat down and watched the first episode, I was like, so you're telling me maybe the detective is a ghost? That was my impression. Like, the detective was gonna be a ghost, the detective was not actually gonna be alive, and maybe, you know, our main male character is seeing things. You know, I was thinking something along the lines like that was gonna happen while watching the episode, but it did not happen. That, in fact, did not happen, and the reveal of potentially the character being dead was literally at the end of the episode, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But, anyways, if you are an individual that likes, let's say, Sherlock Holmes, and not to the, it's not the exact same as Sherlock Holmes, there is obviously some differences with this, but, like, if you like that type of stuff, like, if you like, let's say, just stories about detectives trying to uncover, like, certain plots or schemes behind individuals, or maybe the mysteries around a certain event, then this is definitely going to be for you. This is definitely a series that sticks true to that type of concept, and I feel like doesn't try to kind of undermine your intelligence and, you know, make you feel like you're actually dumb, and does a good way of handling certain cases, especially what this episode presents, because technically there is two segments that this episode has. It has the first half of the episode, which focuses on a very high profile plane hijacking, and then the second half of the episode is a very grounded and low tier type, like, I guess, case. It's about basically discovering this mysterious ghost entity that is Hanako-san in the bathroom, and it just, like, led to, is there really a ghost, or is it actually just something else going on? And it does go down a darker route, which I'll talk about, but for the most part, we get to see just the big differences, the highs and the lows of what The Detective Already is Dead has to offer. For instance, it could show that there could be some really action-packed cases that could do some crazy stuff, like the art and animation I showed you at the beginning of this video, or it can have something very just low tier where it's like, feels like more like a rom-com, happiness and all that, and I appreciate that. There is a lot of variety, and I think in terms of what first episodes are supposed to do for any given series, it's supposed to give you a good presentation, a good foundation to know what you're getting into, if you should continue or if you should actually drop it. And I feel like this series does a good job of that. It lets you know kind of what to really expect, to the comedy, to the characters, to the environment, to what the character is actually seeking. Just everything about this first episode, I think, does a fantastic job of really introducing Siesta. Yes, that is our main female character's name, and our main male character, Kimi. And like I said, it's really good. Like, it does a good job with really letting you know what you're diving into. And so, if you're wanting something already good from this anime season, seriously, give this a shot. You might really like it. It's a really good first episode, and I know that probably most of you will really enjoy it. It's good. But okay, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. Let's get into the spoiler territory and talk about kind of what the series has to offer and what I'm looking forward to while continuing to watch this said anime. So, firstly, I just want to talk about that bombshell of the ending, which is, the detective, already dead. Apparently Siesta is dead. That's literally what is stated at the end of the first episode, that she died. And you don't really get to see her death. You don't know exactly what happened. It's left very vague, mysterious, which is very fitting for a detective-type series. However, there is something that does need to be pointed out. I feel like some will easily gloss over because of just everything else that happened in the episode, and it is a 40-minute episode, so there's a lot to take in. There really is a lot to take in from the first episode, and there's going to be probably a lot of stuff I missed personally, and I'm not even going to talk about in this video, because there's a lot that happened. But I'm going to talk about the main segments that stand out in the groundwork of what the series, at the very least, is trying to present. And so, with her apparent death, it is stated early on in the first case that she, when she holds the guy with a gun down, she's like, bang. And she's like, right now, you technically would be dead if I would have fired. And she's like, I can act like, you actually died. You really died here. We can give you a cover story and that you're actually dead and you could just be done with and, either arrest or whatever. But for the most part, everyone outside of this event will think you're actually dead. And so we have seen already in the beginning of the story that death can mean a variety of things. Death basically can mean that you're just going low profile, you're acting like you're actually dead, but in reality you just maybe have changed your identity, or you're doing something else in the world and people actually think you're dead, but once again you have to low profile it. And it once again does fit with the overall theme of what a detective story would actually be about. So when I think about what the ending tried to present with the detective is already dead, it made me feel like maybe our main model character Kimi thinks that she's dead, but in reality she is not. She's doing an undercover thing to do whatever she needs to do. But that's just my assumption. Just there's something I definitely want to talk about and I picked up on while watching this episode. But there is obviously other things. We also have the whole android / cybernetic enhancements of certain individuals, or at least one individual we saw. And we could assume that Siesta is potentially also enhanced in some way because of just some of the things that the episode presents. It presents that potentially she could fly somehow with, her feet. And then also she presents that, she has a skeleton key that can open any doors, which is very weird. And then she also has, the ability to make anyone kind of become, dismissive to her. For instance, if she puts, her blood in them, they literally won't be able to lay a hand against her. And this is not really elaborated on or explained at all. It just says that she has, different wonders about her. And it, like I said, it's very vague, it's very mysterious, but early on in the episode, it's presented that there is android. So, once again, you're led to believe that maybe she is some form of android, or she's just been enhanced in some way. So that is something very interesting and to look forward to, but that's a big point that this episode also tries to let you know. The mystery around her character, is she just, acting like she can do anything, but in reality she can't, or is there something else behind the scenes that we're, once again unaware of? However, there is something though that needs to be pointed out, and that's the fact that there is this evil organization behind the scenes causing a lot of problems. Now, with any good detective story, you need a good antagonist, you need a good evil organization. That's the truth of the matter. Anything like that needs to have something like that. And you have this organization that's apparently creating some androids, droid cyberkinetic enhancements on people, and they're doing a lot of illegal stuff, doing everything you could pretty much name, anything. And basically, anything too mundane to also very high profile stuff, they're kind of getting their hands into it. For instance, you have the whole scene with the second half of the episode with the whole Hanako and the ghost spirit, kind of find out it's just kids, getting a little bit, loopy and all that, and it led to finding out that the organization is actually attached to that. So, it's just there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and our main male character, Kimi, he wants to have a peaceful, happy life, but in reality, it's not possible. His already happy and tranquil life has already been tampered with since a very early age, and he no longer technically actually will have it if he just tries to remain what he's doing. He actually needs to become a sidekick to the main detective. So that's kind of what the first episode's about. It's good. It's a really good first episode. I love everything I watched, and I cannot wait to see where it's going to go, because, I mean, there's so many questions I have about the main male character, Chibi. What really happened to his parents? You know, why is he alone? Which, that's another thing to really talk about. So, if there is one big thing that I do not like about this show, and it's nothing big, it's nothing major, it's nothing that destroys, you know, the detective is already dead for me. Like, it does not destroy this anime, but it is definitely something very off-putting. It's the character ages. When you're presented to Chibi, our main male character, you're under the impression that he's an adult, he's a businessman, a salaryman, whatever. That's the impression you get, like he's a 20-year-old something dude. But then it's revealed that apparently he is a middle schooler, and you're like, what? Like, I had to pause the episode and just read it again, because I thought I misread the subtitles for a second, but he's apparently a middle schooler, and I'm like, you're telling me this kid that literally looks like he's in his 20s is a middle schooler? I was in shock. I was like, no, he's not. He's acting way too mature, going on these trips on these airplanes all by himself. Just, no, I don't believe it. I really don't. And then when you look at our main female character, Siesta, you know, she apparently is being depicted as the same age, and I'm just like, no, there's just no way either. I may see a late high schooler, but not like a middle schooler. So there's just so many things about the characters' ages and what was set up with the setting. I was just like, they're definitely not that age. It's just, I guess it's the typical, you know, anime being anime. That's just how it is. It's just what they do. But it's just, oh my goodness. I was just like, there's just no way that kid is literally a middle schooler. It just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, that's the only thing. But besides that, gorgeous art, gorgeous animation, fantastic premise so far, and it's definitely looking to be quite the banger from Summer of Anime 2021. But I guess I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. Once again, if you're interested in that animation clip and you want to see for yourself, like I said, I'll link it in the description. You can check it out. But with that, guys, be safe. Chibi out.